Hello. Oh, sorry. Sorry about Nightbot there. Hello, Penguin. What's up? What's up? Hope you're having a good day. Uh, let's see. I'm just setting up the stream a little bit. Okay. All right. So, for today, I was thinking of okay, so I made this entry in the raylib 6.x game jam, and I wasn't really happy with the performance of it. I mean, my bad. I tested it on web way too late, and I also I didn't realize how long it would take to actually do the submission part. So yeah, that was totally my bad, and we had some mishaps happening in the end there. So, but I did get it actually submitted in the end because Ray did open up for late submissions. I was actually, I thought I was in time because the timer said, but it might have drifted or something, or it took like a while for the submission to get through. But I guess generally it's not a good idea to kind of wait until the last second to push submit. So yeah, lesson learned. But the game was submitted in there, but I mean, for some people it didn't even seem to load, and I think that one of the reasons was that I think essentially the game kind of starts, but it's also like at the same time kind of loading in some resources, so you won't see like the opening image, for example. Also, like there's some when I disabled the music, the game actually ran fine on my computer at least. Hello, Phil. What's up? What's up? Hope you're having a nice day. Just talking about the game jam a little bit, like a little post-mortem. So, lessons learned, submit in time. Have a lot of time to submit, and a little bit of testing in the end to make sure that it actually works and runs smoothly. But yeah, I wanted to see what you could do to kind of, fix these issues. I did disable the music, so I mean, if we compare how it is now, because I did like the voting, so I have a new version, but it's only like on, it's on my computer. But if we run this and I get the browser up to show, now this runs way more smoothly from what it did before, because before the physics were all janky, and I ran a profiler to see what the issue was, and I saw that the music actually the music update put a number on the FPS. So I'm not sure exactly why, because it's essentially just a call to the music, update music so that the music gets played. Another issue was that raylib has like a set target FPS function, which I set to 60. However, you're not supposed to use that, and I wasn't using that during, like, if you compile to wasm. However, there is like an FPS you can also set through the mscript and main loop function, which you're supposed to use with wasm. And the thing is, like, I got like a warning or like an error saying that, hey, if you want to use request animation frame. Remember, I actually said during the stream where I found that, hey, is it not actually calling request animation frame? And it turns out it actually didn't call it because it was because I was giving like a custom FPS in the mscript, the main loop. So you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to pass in 0. And hang on. You're supposed to pass in 0 for that. So here, this number here was, I set this to the FPS. So this is the FPS. I set it to 60, and that was bad. So that also further weirded out the whole thing. But yeah, when I disable the music, the game runs fine. So yeah. Hello, Benji, Leonard. What's up? What's up? Welcome. How's it going? So yeah, but it was a really nice experience. I think I was very productive, I think, and getting at least it felt like it. I think that I could improve my base tools when it comes to making games using this, this project type thing in Zig and Raylib. To have like more tools to do things more quickly, generic, things. One of the things that I did afterwards is I actually have this template. Well, I had this template before, but the template I have a template kind of project that when I want to make a new project, this basically I'm using this as a base. And one of the things that I changed was the physics simulation and the kind of FPS things going on. So yeah, I've added a bunch of nice tools here, but like convenient stuff. Mscripten, is it wasm compiled? Yes. So that was the game jam. So I'm talking about a game that I made for raylib 6.x game jam, where you had to have it target wasm, and yeah, using mscripten is, I guess, the way to do it. Yeah. So at least I don't know of any other way. There's probably other ways, maybe, but yeah, anyway, this was the way. And raylib has support for that, so yeah, so I had to configure zig and stuff to do that as well. But yeah, so essentially the game was running on web. However, the FPS was kind of bad. And once I disable like the music update via raylib, the FPS was really good. So I'm not sure what the issue is there. However, what I'm doing here is so this is new here, which I'm gonna try to also get over to the raylib game. So now I'm in my template project, which is the base where I like start out my projects in. And I made this kind of up like a time thing. So essentially, this is going to be used to be able to do things like this. So let's say I have the FPS setting over here. So this is kind of the the raylib FPS, or the actual FPS, drawing, whatever. this is like the physics simulation FPS. So it's like the physics is running at this FPS. So if I actually, let's say, if I start this up and I walk around here, you can see, you know, you can kind of tell what the speed is here, okay? But then I change FPS to like 10. So now the kind of the update function will run 10 FPS. But you can see the speed is kind of the same. It's not like, you know, slowing down everything, but it is like lagging, you know. But if I set this to like 120 or even 240, you might expect things to go very fast compared to 60, but it doesn't. It actually runs just as fast as 60 FPS. So I'm trying to kind of make that more stable and work better. Yeah, so there you go. So that means that the update function is running at 240 FPS, but the physics is kind of more like it's like a fixed update function that only runs at 60 FPS essentially. Hey Blue, hey man, you don't watch football? No, sorry, I'm not a football guy. What's happening? I mean, is it like a World Cup match right now or something? I actually know who. I know because my friends are. Some of my friends watch it, but so I know kind of who is in the finals and stuff, or not the finals. I don't know. I know that I think France, England won over Norway, Schweiz, as we say here in Sweden. Switzerland is doing something, and I think Spain maybe is up there. I don't know. World Cup semifinals, right? Yeah, it was like semi-interesting when my country was in, but once my country went out, then it's like not really that interesting. And of course, when Norway, because it was such a huge thing for them, yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I'm not a football guy. England versus Argentina. Okay, cool. All right, well. Yeah, so also this means that now we have like two different kind of timers. We have like the real time, which is like how much real time has passed since the game started essentially. And then we also have elapsed time, which is now the normal thing for the game to look at, which is the kind of simulated world time, or yeah. So you know, this is like the physics time. I'm air quoting without you seeing it. And the same for delta time, is like the physics delta time, whereas this is like the delta time from the last frame. This is like raylib's delta time. Yeah. So it's not the same. So you have to be careful. I have to be careful here to pick the right one. Usually I want to use these if it's going to be something that is, you know, in the game. Or maybe we'll use this if it's something like, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure actually if I have a reference to this one, but I do have a reference to this one, because when we calculate, so here's the update time function, which essentially is called like once every frame. And I worked this out here. So also I have this pause thing. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a good way to do this, but essentially pause, essentially just a bool that if it's true, we don't actually do anything here. And then we set it to false which then causes this machinery to start doing stuff again. So, and what's that gonna do is essentially the time between pause and unpaused is basically vanished from the simulation, which is good because we don't want to have the world run while we're paused. And how this works is essentially that we get the, well, what we want to calculate is this here: how many physics frames, which it means how many times do we want to advance the physics simulation by the physics time step, which is always the same. So it's the physics time step is over here. This is calculated by taking 1 second over how many FPS we have in physics, which now is 60. So it's 1 over 60, which is about 0.0166666, and so on. So 60 milliseconds is the time step. So every physics step is 60 milliseconds, and it's always going to be 60 milliseconds. It doesn't depend on the delta time or anything like that. It's always 16 milliseconds. And we're trying to calculate how many of those steps do we need to do in this update here to have it be accurately update, like according to real time, essentially. And the real time is taken from here, so we got delta real time, and then we also have this remaining time, which we kind of build up. So essentially, if there's not enough time, or if there's more time spilled over, it's kept in this remaining time variable. So I'm calculating how many physics frames do I need to do in an update. If I do 1, it's 60 milliseconds. If I do 2, it's 32 milliseconds, and so on. You know, if we have a delta time, let's say just in a weird scenario where we had a delta time of like 20 milliseconds for some reason, then we need to actually do, that's going to be 1 physics frame because of 16 milliseconds. And then we're going to take the rest of that and put it in the remaining time. So that's what this is doing here. And this turns out to work pretty well here. So, and we also calculate, keeping track how much of elapsed, like simulated world time do we have. And also what is the delta time at this thing, which is essentially just going to be the physics frames times the time step. So, because we did more, than it's like gonna be more time in the delta time. But that's the simulated time there. And not sure if that made a lot of sense there. It's kind of complicated, or difficult to explain just looking at the code here. Maybe a bit better with some diagrams and stuff like that. I did actually draw up some stuff in GIMP to actually just go through and understand this myself, just to understand, like, well, this may be not that great, but just to understand what is it? Just the calculation, how to calculate what the remaining time will be. So I did this diagram here. So basically, let's say you have a delta time here, and you have like previous remaining time like this. It's stored up from previous delta time that didn't actually make up a whole physics step. So essentially, if you have longer, if you have more, like 240 FPS in the normal FPS, and the physics FPS is like 60, then the delta time for each update is going to be way less than a physics time step. So, yeah. Okay, I can't explain this super clearly here, but whatever, it works. I might maybe do no, I'm not gonna even say that I'm gonna do a video on this, because I won't probably. But anyway, so yeah, let's get this stuff into the game. I'm just gonna copy this, and actually I'll just copy all of this here. And see if that actually does anything to improve anything, really. Okay, so we have elapsed time, it's F64, delta time, F32, we have remaining time, don't remember what that was, I think F32, yeah, and then is paused, it's false. Was there anything else? Physics frames, that's right. Now that's the U size. Okay, so those are the building, this is the data needed for that. Okay. And of course we don't have physics time step, we don't have this, so I'm gonna do that as well. Where is the delta time? Alright, so this is actually delta real time, and this one will be, whoops, delta self.delta time, no. Alright, and then same kind of thing here. This is the real time, and this is the elapsed time. Alright, so then we have FPS, and we have physics FPS, which I'm gonna just say 60 there. And then we also have physics time step, which is 1 over oops, self physics FPS. However, this is a U8, and you're supposed to be a, let's just do F32 there, and you're an F32 float from int. All right, actually, since it's a U8, I think we can just cast it like this. Yeah. Since it fits in an F32, the U8 fits in an F32, so then you don't need to cast it. You can just, well, I mean, we're casting it here, but we don't need the float from int conversion thing. Okay. And now we're going to update, and we go into core. The first thing we do in each one is like just update time. See here, I disable update music. All right, so now we have that. And we also need to change how physics works. So essentially now we need to get, okay, what is the time step? The time step is physics times, it's game physics times step, which is like 60 milliseconds. And then we also have 4 game physics frames, the range. We don't need to keep track of what number it is. We do this. So we do a physics update for each physics frames that we need, that we're doing here. And this iterator also needs to be reset now every time, because otherwise it would be just going through once and then we're done the next time. So we need to reset it to be able to work there. All right. Okay, so we have the times. Now the time step, we're gonna need, instead of delta time, so anytime we call delta time, we actually want to call, or we want to replace that with time step now. And same thing over here, and here as well. So delta time, and I'm gonna pass this in like this instead. And over here we actually don't need game here, we just need time step. Oh, sorry, time step. And we don't need game there. And now we don't need to pass in game, but we do need time step. Okay, same thing over here. Now, I'm not sure if this is gonna actually affect performance like a super much, but I guess we'll find out. It might do something. I mean, one thing that it will do, because I noticed whenever it started to lag, the physics simulation kind of broke down a little bit, like the bullets started phasing through the enemies, and sometimes you wouldn't be hit, or they wouldn't be hit, or yeah, a lot of weird stuff happening like that. But this will make sure that the physics will be, you know, it will always be simulated in the correct kind of way. Well, as much correct as it can. You know, the smaller this time step is, the more correct is the physics simulation. But you can't have it infinitely small, because that's not how computers work. So you have to put it to some kind of reasonable size. But technically we could shorten it as well, like we could increase physics FPS to like more, and that would increase the precision of the physics. But we don't really need that for this game. So because you essentially, that kind of precision you probably only need for if you want to do some like box 2D physics or something like that. But then you'll probably, you know, you could just use box 2D library, unless you want to make your own. But yeah, anyway, so now we have the time step here instead. Yeah, and we're going through all the physics frames that we deem necessary to render. So now this should be updated to have the same kind of running you know, thing as my template game. So this seems to work fine. Okay, and then if I go over to game and I'll go to my FPS settings and I will increase to like 240, it will hopefully have the same thing. Now the thing is, like, my functions out in the wild might be using, you know, raylib get time or something like that. That won't work anymore. I have to use like game elapsed time. I'm trying to use that as much as I can, but I might have been. But you can see, like, even if we increase FPS to 240, we still have the same kind of timing going on in the simulation here. So yeah, that's great. And then if we also lower now to 10, let's say, hopefully this still, it won't run smoothly, but it will probably work better than it did before. You can see already here is kind of, so before the bullets would be facing, okay, you can see it actually does phase through now. Okay, interesting. I wonder if that is because the collision system is a little bit different. Oh yeah, so this is probably due to the fact that we check, like, collision checks are done not like in the physics system. Essentially, it's done like in other places. Actually, hang on. So we do have like collision detection here. Resolve collisions. Yeah, but this resolve collision, this is only for the grid, actually. We don't use this in this game. So what's happening is that this physics update will update like position, velocity, and all that very accurately. However, the collision detection is done, let's say, in the enemy system. We have like this hitbox thing here. This only checks like once after all the physics updates have been done. So that means the bullets can actually phase through at this point. So what we would need to do is make some kind of collision detection system in the physics system and incorporate that, and then kind of export like, or do some kind of collision, like on collision hook, or produce a bunch of events that you need to go through. Yeah, in order to fix that. So, or we could also just slow the game down, I guess, maybe. We could, I mean, what if we set, what will happen if we just set the physics FPS to match? What's gonna happen then? It's probably gonna be the same, maybe, I'm not sure actually. It's like you have to match, you have to now kind of, yeah, you can see also they get like super knockback as well, which is, yeah, it's weird. Okay. Well, the goal is not to get it to lag that much, so I guess we will kind of ignore that. What if you set this to like very low and then FPS to 60? What happens then? Okay, so we get this kind of the same effect almost. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, so what I'm gonna test now, first of all, I'm gonna test this in the browser version to see how it's running just normally without music now. And then I'm gonna try and put on the music to see if it's still lagging. And then maybe I'm gonna read up on like, okay, is there an issue with running like music on like a raylib wasm game, or what's happening? Okay, this seems to run smoothly. Cool. And you can't quit on the wasm version. There's no point in having the quit button there. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, so let's go ahead and look for updated music. Also, one thing that I actually did was remove the music from the resources folder, because it actually, like, it lowered, you know, it increased the size of the wasm, but it didn't actually go over 64 megabytes, which is one constraint of the gamejam. But I'm gonna copy this over to resources, and now we should have the music in there again. So we have everything we need in here. And did we? I probably also disabled loading the music, or maybe not. No. Okay, so it should still load. Okay, I'm trying the desktop version first here, I guess. There should be music now. I'm not sure. I can't hear anything. Oh, there we go. That one was also disabled. Okay. Okay, now I can hear music. I'm not sure if you can hear. It's kind of quiet. And it seems to run smoothly here as well. Okay. Let's... Okay, now I'm gonna try the web version. Let's see. I mean, I'm gonna anticipate that it's gonna lag here. It even lagged, like, you know, just on the, yeah. But I think the physics simulation is a little bit better. I think what's happening is like there's some frames that run slower because of like the, yeah, I can see that the bullet phased through there because of some of the physics, or I mean, yeah, the music buffering or whatever is happening that is causing the FPS to go down some couple of the frames. So yeah, okay, let me go and search here raylib mscript and music lag. Is there anything happening here? Usually caused by the main runner slowing down, incorrect audio streaming. Okay, this is AI. Okay, let's just see what it has to say. Separate audio from rendered loop, ties audio to your frame updates. If your game drops frames or run heavy logic, the music buffer starves, causing lag or popping. Well, it's not the music that's lagging, it's the entire game. But call update music stream continuously, preferably at the beginning of your very main loop before any heavy drawing. Increase audio buffer size. Okay. That's maybe a good idea, perhaps. Use OGG instead of MP3. Okay, well, we do have OGG. I don't... Wait, hang on. Stage 1 is an OGG file, so that's not the issue. Optimize browser, disable background plugins. Well, that's not the issue because other people have reported the same issue. Audio troubles. Okay, well, the one thing we got out of this was maybe this thing here. I'm gonna try this one and see. I mean, I don't know. This seems like just moving the goalposts, but okay, let's try it. So we'll go to setup here and we'll go to init raylib. So after this, probably you wanna do this and okay. I mean, it suggested 4096, so I guess we'll try to go with that. Man, it's hot today. Okay, let's see. No, I don't think that did it. I mean, it kind of looks like it's fine, but then again, you can kind of notice the lag. Maybe not, actually. I think maybe it runs better. I'm not sure. It feels like laggier than the desktop, but also I haven't missed, like, it haven't phased through once now. Oh. I was trying to beat this game. I couldn't actually do it. It might be too difficult right now. I need to kind of balance. You get like way too bad. I mean, it feels like what I would like to do is perhaps, well, two things. I want to lower the kind of hitbox of the player. The hitbox of the player is way too big. It's like essentially the entire rectangle that like encompasses the entire ship. So it's like, you know, sometimes it can feel like, hey, what the hell, I wasn't supposed to get hit there. But so maybe like smaller hitbox of the player ship, and then yeah, because right there it felt like, well, anyway. And then also like maybe better weapon, or maybe even change how you get to buy new things. Maybe not limit like to one upgrade per round, or like maybe like if you collected enough shards, you can buy all 3 upgrades, because each upgrade is like, it doesn't really make it like a lot more powerful. So it would be nice if you know, between each wave it would feel like you're actually progressing a lot more. Yeah, that was the kind of thing that I was thinking about anyway when I play tested it a little bit. Of course, I didn't have a lot of time just balancing those things, but yeah, I just tried to polish some things, and of course, you know, the end result was actually lagging a lot, so you could argue that the polish wasn't that great, but yeah, it worked fine on the desktop. But anyway, it might have improved lag a little bit. I still feel like it's lagging, like it's not smooth. Let me actually enable like the FPS draw, or the drawing the FPS here. Oh my god, don't tell me this has lagged out now. Oh, why is it doing this? God damn it. Joel is spinning the fish, huh? Okay, I think I need to restart WSL here. This happens after I try to like do like the serve, like Yeah, run the server there. Let me restart here. But that might have improved it a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell. Also, it's a pain to actually do some performance like testing on the web. Like, yeah, it's just clicking a button, but it's like lagging as all hell. And come on, let's start up. Pits, pain in the soul. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now we're back, and I need to go to my game jam. And a social draw, yes, because it should be just doing that. Actually, you know what? Maybe I will put... It's kind of weird that the entire goddamn WSL is like shutting down because I'm running this server. It's actually pretty strange. Maybe it's because I'm running it through Runic. Maybe that's the issue. Probably. Yeah, because yeah, maybe. Well. This is the steps I need to do, so I'm just gonna do this manually here. Yeah, because Runic is not stable right now. Far from it. But I am kind of, you know, sometimes updating it, adding some cool features and stuff. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna copy min shell over to zig out web index HTML. We're gonna go into the thing. And I'm gonna, actually I don't think I need to do that. Sure, why not? And now we have that in a separate, like in like a screen. So it's running. I hope maybe this will do something. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully it doesn't like shut down the entire thing. Actually, what the hell? 160 FPS. Okay, now I'm curious. If I shut this down, and we will go to... Wait, how am I gonna do this? Yeah. Set 4096. If I don't do this, and then we build will it clear out zig out / web before doing this? And the answer is no. So index is still there. Okay, great. Right, and now I want to go back and run this again. And see what the FPS is. If the FPS has changed. It doesn't actually change. What the hell? So what was the change that we did? Because it definitely lagged before. Like I was just testing it before and it lagged. Maybe that was before the time thing upgrade. No, but it is facing through. It is facing through. Now. So looking at the FPS is not a great indicator. Also, that was a bullshit wave. What? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna log out. Also, like logging itself is also very time consuming. Like if you have a lot of logs, which I probably actually do, maybe not. I thought I saw like a bunch of logs. Oh, maybe it was from the template project. Okay, maybe I don't know actually. But I want to get what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like physics update frames. Okay, so now we'll be able to see each, you know, each like raylib update or loop essentially, each loop iteration. How many frames is the physics thing gonna do? And I think like in general, since FPS and this is trying to be the same, it's gonna be around 1 frame. But I saw that in the browser it was actually 160 or something, which means that if it was actually trying to do 160 FPS or physics updates per second, which is like, you know, more than 2 times, almost 3 times as much as it would usually do, which means that of course it's going to be slower than if it's trying to do that many physics updates. But this is probably just gonna do, yeah, about 1 frame per update, which makes a lot of sense. And then if we do this on the web, which we can do if we build, what the hell, man? Yeah, if we build and we start up the server again. And we have to look at the console. Okay. I think we're also getting kind of into a weird territory where if, let's say you're starting to get a very low FPS. No, it's not going to try to play catch up. No, it will, because the real time between each frame is larger, so then it tries to play catch up actually. So it's trying to play catch up to catch up for the frames lost before. But then the next frame's gonna run even slower, so you're gonna get into this evil circle, as we call it, where you know, one thing leads to the bad thing, and that leads to the other thing again, and that leads to the bad thing, and leads. So it's gonna go around and around and just bog down in frames. So what you can do possibly here is to say, well, let's just say that, okay, well, if let's just allow X amount, like a maximum amount of physics frames, so we don't like bog down essentially, because it's just going to take longer and longer to do each frame, and then it needs to play catch up more and more. So the question is then, how many frames are we gonna say that we're gonna deem, you know, too much? And I'm gonna say maybe ketchup. Yes. It's trying to play catch up. Catch up. How do you say it? Catch up? Like I'm thinking about ketchup. And it's let's see, how can we do? So basically, okay. So what we want to do? Excuse me. So these are like the physics step that we want to have. So maybe that's too much. So we will do max, or we will do like, yeah, min, and then this would be like max physics frames, which we put somewhere, not sure where. And we're just gonna pick an arbitrary number 5 that would correspond to like, well, 6 would correspond to 10, no, 100 milliseconds, maybe? No, wait. 60 frames per second, yes. Is that 100? 60 plus 30, no. 60 plus 30, yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's 100, I think. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna say that, okay, well, you can't exceed this, because otherwise it's just gonna try and do more and more to catch up there. However, there's an issue as well here. So this will be the number of physics frames that we deem to do. Now the problem is it gonna affect the RAM time? I don't know. Like, can the RAM time now build up like indefinitely? You're always gonna have RAM time, or do we just throw away the time that we couldn't do? Okay, first of all, I'm gonna test this in the desktop version. Well, there won't be, you know, we won't get to that scenario here. Also, I think it's time to remove. Like zig PKG, this seems to not expand. However, zig cache, like if I do this, zig cache is 2 gigs. I mean, this is 1.4. Okay, well, I guess it's not time yet. Hang on, screen R. Let's run this again. Whoa. What the hell? Hang on. I mean, did it do that because it was like a huge delta time at the start? That's the only reason I can think of. So if delta time is huge, then this would be large. This would be max frames. Then we also would get a lot of RAM time as well, which then would be replayed every time until it's updated properly. So essentially each update will get, which is like 160 FPS, will get like 5 physics updates. I mean, we could just say that the max is 1 as well. But that will make it so that if you're lower FPS, the physics simulation will also be slower. But if the FPS is high, the physics simulation will be normal. I guess that's fine. Maybe. But if we just set this to 1, when are you gonna move to 3D? Maybe someday. I mean, I don't know. I really love like 2D games. Like 2D games is like what I grew up with, and you know, I mean, I like 3D games as well, but I just feel like it's a whole different beast for some reason. I don't know why I don't know. I just feel like I got all my ideas in my brain is like it's all 2D based. Like I have very few like 3D games that I like think of and that I want to make, sort of. If that makes sense. I guess I maybe like that's what I enjoy more, maybe. Okay. I'm gonna disable this log here actually as well. Alright, so let's do that. Oops. But yeah, it would be interesting to do one, because once I've done one, maybe I get the taste to do more. So it's a nice suggestion. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's see now how this will go. What the hell? Wait. So it's yeah. So there was like a huge delta time, and then everything got like replayed until the so that was the remaining time is the issue there. It was kind of what I was afraid of, that the remaining time would like grow, and then you have to kind of empty the remaining time. But we could also throw it out. Like if we couldn't get to make... So basically what we could do is we could do like two things here. We could say like, okay, well, this is the target physics frames, or desired, or whatever. Desired. I will remove you. Okay, that's the desired, and then the actual physics frames are going to be this and desired frames, whatever's the minimum of those. And then that's the delta time, and then we're gonna have like essentially like I'm not sure if there's rem time that we want to throw away, or if it's, yeah, it's just a DT. Rem time, if we can just assume that rem time was previously correct, it's the DT that might be huge here that we have to correct for. So actually DT, if we can make that mutable, and we can calculate how much time. So essentially this would be like desired delta. It's gonna be desired physics frames minus the actual physics frames, and then dt would be negative equal desired delta times the time step. So that will lower dt there. Yeah. And then rem time would not get a huge like increase, it would just get whatever is the maximum here, which is just 1 frame. So I think this might do something at least. All right, let's do the test here. And also part of the reason why I'm doing this is to get like a better template that further games, like more games that I will be making, I'm gonna, you know, use this kind of template to more easily start creating new games and make, like, you know, be more productive essentially. So yeah, like less focus on like basic architectural stuff, or like the basic systems, basic like general systems, and more focus on actually making a game. I mean, I do enjoy the programming part, of course, and it's not going to be less programming, so to speak. I guess it's just going to be different kind of programming. It's like programming with basic tools already available, rather than have to recreate all the tools every time you do a new project. Okay, well, now I'm just playing the game. So there we go, and now let's do the same thing again. Build. is making a mess here. Let's see, screen. All right. Okay, there we go. I mean, I don't know what it is. Hang on. Okay. Oh, sorry, you're not actually seeing this here. But yeah, that worked real well. I mean, if I refresh, run this runs a lot better now. I think one of the reasons was that, yeah, it was trying to do like physics updates way too much before. So now it's running like way more smoothly, which is really nice, because I was like, why is the music update making it lag so much? I mean, and then it turns out that was actually not the problem. And I was thinking like, yeah, this was kind of strange if that was the problem, since I saw other games that, you know, used music on wasm and there was no issues basically there. I also kind of, you know, I kind of made a mistake, or like one of many maybe, in the design of the game, because I was thinking like, okay, well, they won't be able to have mouse and touch control, and I was like, okay, are they gonna be playing this on mobile? And like, what about the resolution of 720, like 720? Like, I was so confused about those kind of restrictions, because it did say touch and mouse. I mean, I don't know, you were supposed to kind of interpret that maybe as having keyboard or touch, I guess, or something, I don't know. Because some games use the keyboard to walk around. It did not have touch or mouse, you know, interaction. So essentially then it was like, okay, well, do you mean like any interaction, like, you know, any any input interaction? I was kind of confused about the rules there. But, you know, maybe I should have, you know, just asked in the channel, which I didn't do, of course. I should have done that. To clarify that, but it was like during the kind of design phase of the game, and I was like trying to figure out, okay, how should the game actually play? And that was when I came up with this here, where, you know, you're just moving around with your mouse, because that would also work on touch. So it's like, and then you don't even use the keyboard because you're using the mouse. And I was thinking like, okay, well, if it's gonna be touch and keyboard, how is that gonna merge? Like, you know, how's that gonna mesh? Let's see if we can actually make it somewhere in the game. It's pretty difficult. I think partly because the hitbox is so large of the ship. So it's kind of hard to dodge sometimes. Trying to gather as much money as possible. It's kind of slowing down. I think it's because all the things checking for collision detection and stuff. That was the next step. If there was a issue with all the entities for collision detection, the next step would be to implement some sort of optimizing algorithm for that. Like either insert things into the spatial grid Or making like a sweeping algorithm, maybe. That's gonna be way faster. Man, this is... Okay, this has to be the last wave here. Oh man. Yeah, it's slowing down now because there's so much stuff happening. Yeah, that's the last wave. Alright. And also, there's no way to get more health, or yeah. So you're kind of screwed almost, like... and this is the conundrum here. Probably the best thing here probably to shield, or the problem is that there's a bug which makes that if I merge this, it's not actually gonna increase the damage. The only thing it's gonna do is it's gonna increase the kind of hitbox of the weapons, but it's also gonna increase rate of fire by a tiny bit. But I think honestly this is better. Because it's like exactly kind of almost three times better than the machine gun. Because it's shooting 3 bullets and not 1. Okay, this... Actually, no, this is not the last stage. There's 6 stages. That was like a last thing I did. I updated like, okay, let's just increase the length of the game. Increase the number of stages. That's just increasing like a number. Oh man, I wonder if like the last stage is gonna be impossible because of all the weapons the enemy is gonna get. It does, like the lag does help. Okay, there we go. Ah, it's still laggy. I wonder, you know, if it's still laggy on desktop. Well, it wasn't actually laggy on desktop. At all. So I wonder if we can actually make it to stage whatever it is. And also I'm going to enable dev mode because that will increase the resolution a little bit so we can see better. All right. And I wanted to add also like maybe some kind of temporary power-ups so that the gameplay kind of would be a little bit more interesting and fun. Like sometimes there would be maybe this special enemy or something that shows up and you can destroy it to get like a power-up. That was fast. I mean, maybe if you hit an enemy while it's charging, maybe it's gonna like discharge on itself or something. Dealing extra damage. Dealing like an explosion, like an AoE effect. Because then it becomes a little bit like skill-based, like okay, you're starting to charge, let me hit you a couple of times. Turn that weapon onto yourself. Okay. We got the bad weapon. No. Oh man. Yeah, but we solved the main problem of the game, which was the lag, like just at the beginning. Of course, then there's lag when there's a lot of things on the screen, which would be the next step to fix. Oh man, why are there so many of these now? This is stage 2, right? This is brutal. Sometimes it's like the challenge is just to kill enough to get through without getting killed. Okay. Well, the problem is these doesn't actually do anything right now. So I guess what we could do is get the shield. Maybe, I guess we'll merge that. We basically made our weapon worse now because there's a bug. It doesn't actually do this and do anything. I mean, the one thing that it's doing is like increasing the cooldown, or decreasing the cooldown, I should say. But it doesn't actually increase the damage, which is the intent of merging. It should do double damage, but it's not. It's doing single damage still. So yeah, it's pretty bad bug. But at least now I have a shield. And there we go, there's the shield gone. Oh, you're in spaceship mode, space invader mode. Oh man, that's a fast weapon there. Oh, planet. Rare planet. Was that it? Stage 3? I don't think I've been this far. Okay, we can switch out for this or get a better shield. I think a better shield, because that actually does work. Now I have 2 charges on the shields. So we're going like defense mode. Oh man. It feels like it's actually more efficient to let them pass than to try to kill them with this weapon here. Oh man, wait. I thought I had 2 charges. Hey. What's going on? Oh my god. Okay, there we go. I think that's it. New personal best, yeah. And of course we need like 2, if we want to get tier 3 shield, we need yeah, we need 2 tier 1s. Rate of fire. Actually, this might work. Rate of fire mod. I can merge that to get like more rate of fire. Hey, it does work. Nice. So the damage one does not work, but the rate of fire does work. That's really nice. Oh my god. Wait, I thought I had 2 charges. What the hell? Yeah, but you can see also like on the desktop version, it's like we can have all this crap on the screen, but it still does not waver from 60 FPS. So that's pretty good. Even though it's like a brute force. Like every bullet is brute force checking against the player. Every player bullet is brute force checking against the enemies. And every shard on the screen, like the pickups, are also brute force checking against the player. So I mean, I guess the brute force checking against the player is not really, because we know there's only one player entity. But it's like, I guess the brute, I guess we just do 1 check though per thing actually. So it's like an O of N actually. Oh, there we go. Man, I was kind of losing focus there. But okay, we didn't make it. But oh, and here's all the memory leaks as well. Yeah, I did put that off. No, I did actually. I did fix the memory leak that was actually making the game lag, which was the memory or the enemy. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I was thinking maybe I should continue on this game a little bit, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm gonna update it with my latest changes once I can do it, so that it can actually be like playable on the thing. Also, one thing that I might want to add also is like a loading screen in the start, so that you don't like see just a black screen until stuff has loaded in, but you actually see like a loading thing that kind of loads in stuff. So maybe, you know, I'll add that at some point and then continue there. However, so that was cool. So nice. What I want to do now is I want to take these changes that now work for this project and update the template project, and I'm just gonna make like I'm just gonna make a very basic game here. Let's say I have like 1 hour to make a super simple game. I'm gonna do a mini game jam here. But first, let's see. I want to get started set up here. So I'll probably like add a little things here, like the grid system. I'm gonna upgrade the grid system so you can put in like dynamic objects. Maybe put in like a quad tree that you can use if you want. Maybe, I don't know. something like that. Maybe put in like a box 2D wrapper thing to work more conveniently with this library or this template. But anyway, let's see. I want to have this in my thing there. Let's see. Whoa, wait, what's happening here? Okay. Here's the template. I'm gonna go to game and update time. So essentially the changes is this part here. So we have desired frames, and we have the actual frames, and then we have the delta time, and then we make this mutable. Let me do this so we can see the actual differences here. And then desired delta. Okay, there we go. Now there's no more changes there. And of course we need max physics frames. I'm just gonna set this to 1 because that seemed to be a good number. Okay, and now I'm gonna try and run this test demo thing with a template. Okay. Still seems to work. Where's this log at? Actually, it's in demo. We also have the grid. I'm gonna remove those. All right. So you. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in my template, I was actually adding. In the renderable, I was like, well, I want to have something that is... What's going on? Okay, it stopped working again. God damn it. I don't know what it is about this server. It's weird. Maybe it takes up too much memory or something. And then everything just stops. I have no idea. Okay. But yeah, WSL is restarted. Let's go back to templates. And actually, do we have a screen? No. All right. So let's go back here. This is all good. And this should all still work. Yeah, but now we don't get this. So you can see this thing over here is like, I was also adding animation, like basic animation to my template. And this essentially goes through a bunch of different renderables, which is like one renderable is one frame. And well, you can see that I added the circle, and then there's one more, which is like, so it's a circle and a square or a rectangle. And then there's a mystery one which doesn't show up, and that's the triangle. So the triangle in raylib has 3 points that you define, and then a color there. So that's this is my own like implementation here, but essentially I store this data here, and then I have a draw function which adds some stuff like the center or position and the rotation of the triangle. And so then I take all these, so these are relative vectors. So essentially it's like a local vector in the triangle world. So we can rotate those because those should be around kind of the origin of the triangle. So we rotate those, and then we add the world position here, and then we draw this triangle, right? So this function only takes like 3 vectors and a color. However, it doesn't seem to do anything. Or if I'm doing the thing wrong here. So I have this function. This creates the kind of animated thing. And I'm gonna add like a little sine kind of motion to it as well, but I don't have that for now. But I'm creating an animation with 6 frames, and we're going through all of the frames and then populating them with a renderable. And we have a color which is based on the index, and this just fills out every different color there. And then we have the renderable, which is repeated twice or repeated once, so that each one is, so we have 2 rectangles, 2 circles, and 2 triangles. And so the rectangles and circles are like a no-brainer, they work, although their center point is like different. So the rectangle is like, it's like positioned, the top left is like the position, while the circle is like the center is the position. But anyway, triangle does not work at all. So I have a point at 0, 0, so that's like the origin, and then we go to 10, 10, so that would be like a 45-degree angle line going up to the right or down to the right, if you know, on a computer screen. And then we have going left, yeah, to 0, 10. I was like, hang on, does that make a triangle? I'm not sure what this is doing. Like, maybe, I mean, maybe it's not a, maybe it's lines. I don't know. But we're going from 0, 0 to 10, 10 to 0, 10. Maybe I should go to 10, 10 first. No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We start there. We go over to 10, 10. Yeah. And then we go to the left. And then I guess we go back down. So it's kind of like a triangle that is pointing to the top left, essentially. Maybe this should be the other way around. Maybe this should be 0, 10, and then 10, 10. If there's like a direction to it, it has to be a certain direction, maybe. Okay, maybe that was it. So now it's pointing down left, but it's like clockwise. It's defined clockwise. Before it was defined. No, before it was defined clockwise. Now it's defined anti-clockwise. Okay, cool. So we have a little thing going on there. Yeah. Yeah. So this thing that you're seeing here is just like a demo application, like a demo game, or demo kind of just to kind of, you know, test the things that I'm adding here a little bit. Can I get 100 here? No. I got 100.99999. This is the game now. No, I think it's impossible. It's like stuck on certain coordinates, like certain intervals. All right. Anyway. So yeah, so we can take this. I have a little script that makes it easy to use this for a new project. So what I do is I go over to some new thing. So let's say we're making some kind of basic platformer. I don't know, basic platformer. I'm gonna call this box jump. And we are going to then do setup. So I have this kind of alias thing here, and this sets up the whole thing. And now we're ready to work. So if I start this up, we essentially just have the template project here. So this would be the same demo game here. So there we go. And now, oh yeah, actually, yeah, but if you go into zig+raylib, you can see that this is actually named box jump. The fingerprint is correct. So it's kind of like, although one thing that is kind of weird is this part here. This isn't actually rendered properly. So you have to add like a thing here maybe, or where was it? Or do you have to manually do this? So if you want to add more stuff here, it's gonna actually not be able to what is it, understand what the hell is going on here because of the format that's happening. So because this is like badly formatted, now like if I was trying to, like if I undid this and had like was before, and I tried to add a new package, it wouldn't work, because raylib would be like, or Zig would be like, what the hell is this? What is this? What's happening in this file? And it wouldn't be able to do it. But so I have to kind of format it manually here. However, so what I'm doing is essentially, why it got formatted that way is because I actually read this in using the standard library for zone files and parsed it and then spit it back out. But I replaced like name and fingerprint. But then dependencies got like weirdly formatted when I did that. So I have to fix that. But it's kind of like a generation tool that I'm using to easily create new projects. So you don't even need to go in here and do this, but I was just showing this here. Okay, so the demo is over here. This is what's being created to create the thing. Also, what's the time here? 22:38. Okay. Let me make so box. I'm just gonna call this box jump setup. So this will set up all the entities to start with and stuff. Init box jump. Oh, you're a function. Alright, so we're gonna create the player. We are going to create the grid. And yeah, that's it for now, I guess. I'm just gonna make a super basic platforming thing, which will maybe have some collectible things or something. Right, so now we're doing box jump setup instead. Init box jump, and there we go. Now we should have that instead. And of course we need these functions, create player. 40. I'm gonna initialize you at get absolute position of 0, 0. That would be like in the center. And then we're gonna add, let's just do like a renderable for now. Init rectangle. Oh, sorry, that's init rectangle. And you need a size. Let's just do like, I don't know, 10 by 10 or something. Color is blue. Okay. And we're gonna add controllable as well. So we can control the player. We have the grid. And yeah, the grid. I will look at the demo here because we do have this thing here. I'm just gonna copy this code here. All right, so this grid is kind of small, 10 by 8. It's kind of dividing the world into the thing. So what we can do is I'm gonna look at the world size. The pixel size is 320 by 256. It's kind of small, and that's fine, but I just need to see what we can work with here. So maybe 32, that will be like 10 tiles on the x-axis, and then on the y-axis we could do like, well, 32 would also be divisible there, so we could do 32 by 32. It's kind of large tiles though. Let's do like 16, 16 maybe, and that will be 20x. Actually, let's do one more, 40. And I guess, well, since this is like times 4, this would also be times 4, so that's 36, right? All right. All right. Cool. And then what's happening here, essentially, it's saying that the ground level is going to be filled in. So if we start this now, we should get our player. Well, we have our blue player, but I don't see a ground. Actually. Draw grid. I don't think the issue is here. I think the issue is like, are we calling? Yeah, we are calling create grid. Did something go wrong with this? I don't think so, because otherwise there would have been something going wrong. Like it would have been a crash or something. Okay, wait, what if... No, because this goes through width and height. Oh, the cell size... Oh, it's hard-coded. Okay, so this would be like divided by 4 now. There we go. Still not visible. And still nothing there. Okay. Cool. Yeah, 32. No, wait, 32 over 4. Oh, hang on. I did a miscalculation. This is not true. That's 9. Okay, that's 8. Okay. Man, basic multiplication failed me. Okay, there we go. There's the ground. Okay. So, but the thing is we can move around willy-nilly. There's no gravity or anything. So I'm going to go to the physics and look for, well, do we have gravity anywhere here? No, we don't. Great. So let's just add gravity. Now this could be a vector. That's probably what we should do. We should have a vector. And it's gonna start out pointing downwards. Now this would kind of be, I think this is like acceleration. So I'm just gonna pick a number here. Let's go with 10 and we'll see what happens. So let's go, probably need way more than that, but so we have the physics update, which is update here, and this is gonna be gravity. Of course, we don't have south here. Oops. And X. Okay. Q. All right. So will this do anything now? Yeah. Now we have gravity. I mean, it doesn't look like it's accelerating. It looks like we are actually just constantly moving down. That's kind of weird. Is the velocity like reset or something? I mean, acceleration is reset. Oh wait, velocity is changed here. Oh wait, this is okay. That's not the way to do it. So what I want is basically here acceleration is gonna be equal to acceleration plus gravity. Okay, there we go. And back to that. Sorry to interrupt you. Okay, we get a much slower initial thing now. But I think it's going to eventually increase more and more. Let's increase gravity a little bit, maybe. Let's do like 1,000. There we go. It still feels like it's going like a constant speed though. Is it because we have like air drag or something? Drag? No? Like there's no friction or anything like that? I mean, yeah, so essentially what is happening is we are doing, so acceleration is reset every time. However, gravity is always affecting gravity. Or gravity is always affecting acceleration. And then velocity is taking that acceleration, adding it to itself, scaling the time step. So if velocity should be increased by gravity. Yo, yo, yo! Hey, hey, hey! What's up, what's up? Thank you for the raid. Let me get my glasses here to see what's happening. Lucas Develops. Thank you. 13 viewers. Hello. Welcome. Hey, hey. What's happening? How would the stream go? What are you doing? Hello, soft algorithm. Pretty good reviewing PRs. Oh, reviewing PRs. That sounds like work. I guess. Is it like for your project or something? Yeah. Okay. They are from smarter people. I think. Yeah. I think you have to be pretty smart to review them then. Usually the one that reviews the PRs are supposed to be the one that's, I guess, higher up or smarter or whatever. More experienced. But yeah, cool. What project is that? Risk of Rain 2 inspired game using Vulkan Zig Steamworks. Oh, cool. What is Steamworks? I'm a noob game dev, so I barely know anything. What are you developing? I'm making. Well, I'm kind of working on my template. I have like a template project that I'm like improving over time and adding things to it, which uses like ECS, raylib as a base, and then I'm just adding a bunch of convenient stuff to it so that I can get started quickly on new projects. And right now I'm just making like a. I was thinking like making like a very simple like just platformer. Just just one screen where you can basically just move around. Essentially, that's where I'm trying to go here. And I actually get stuck on this gravity thing, which is not really where I thought I would get stuck on. Yeah, Steam networking support forwarding works. Oh, okay. Cool. Sounds like production stuff. Production level stuff. How does that work, by the way? Do you get like some kind of dev environment from Steam or something that you can test against? I don't mean to grill you with this, but I never made like a game on Steam or anything like that. Why is this not working? Yeah, you can do dev keys, but I'm learning as I go before to do it wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Dev keys. I mean, I guess maybe you would get in contact with some Steam employee or something. Maybe. I don't know. There has to be like a huge amount of small developers. They would call me up if I mess up. Okay, cool. That's good. Um, yeah, I'm not sure unless velocity is like reset every frame. I'm not sure why this is not working here. All right. Yeah. Have a good sleep. Thanks for the raid. And keep on using zig. Actually, someone came in and commented on my video saying that zig is dead. It was probably like rage bait. Zig is dead, and there are better languages now. I mean, it's not even released. So I asked, like, okay, what other language? Like, what other languages? But I haven't gotten a response. Yes. Oh, here we actually just set it. Right. But that... Okay. But that's only if we input something. Wait, why is this done twice? Oh, it's the same... Okay, it's the same line. It's just two references in the same line. And then there's plus equals. Is this done every time? Yeah, it is reset. Okay, so it is reset here, which then is bad if I want to be able to have some sort of physics happening. So I won't do this if... No, do we even do this here? So this is if we want to set... If we want to... Okay, so yeah, so this is if we want to use the left stick to move around. If we don't, like if we let go, this is kind of like twin stick shooter, or I don't know, top down move with the stick controls right here, which is not what I want for this game. For this game, I just want to... Actually, I don't want a stick at all for this game. Okay, this should now work. There we go. Whoa. Let's reduce gravity. See if we can find a sweet spot here. Whoa. Okay, there's no like drag either. So if I just like, yeah, there's... Oh, whoa. Okay. Oh, I see. So the velocity needs to be reset. We're kind of phasing through the ground there because the collision system did not reset velocity. The velocity was kind of building up over time. And in the end, we would go through the floor because we had too much velocity for the collision system to kind of detect a thing there. So I mean, you can solve it a number of ways. I'm just gonna say that we're just gonna say that, well, we can't move that fast. That's one thing. What we can do, we can also say that, okay, once you hit the floor, we should also reset or set the velocity to 0 in that direction. And then the thing is we need to actually see, well, we have resolve. Let's see. So here we're finding all the, so this is a grid, a spatial grid algorithm here. This function will look for collisions and resolve them as well. Resolving means that we are like physically colliding. So essentially if two bodies collide and they need to kind of bounce off each other or whatever, then this function will handle like setting the new position and velocity based on that. So and because it's a grid thing, we have like a bunch of like we have like a rectangle in a grid and finding all the cells in that rectangle. And then we're going through all these cells and we're checking for solid cells that, because this is a very simple grid which only has like solid or not solid cells. So essentially everything is like a rectangle or a square block, kind of like Super Mario, you know, Super Mario Bros. There, or Super Mario Brothers. We always call it like Super Mario Bros. In our nation because of it, the title, it says Bros dot and not like brothers. So we say Super Mario Bros. I don't know if, I mean, I think I've heard brothers mostly from people around, but whatever. Anyway, so here is the position of the cell. This is now world coordinates, I think. Yeah. And we're going through one axis at a time, because otherwise you would get like weird collision stuff happening. And let's see, we find, yeah, we're trying to see if we are actually colliding. Well, actually we are colliding because we already know that we're inside this solid here, but we're trying to calculate where to push the kind of, or the player in this case, and this is the calculation for that. However, so there we go. So we can actually see then that actually we know that, okay, well, if we collide, which we are doing here, then we have to set so is there like a set? No. We have add to or round vector, but we don't have set vector component. So we should set vector component. We get a vector that we modify. We set it to some value. So then x is going to be equal to value and y is going to be equal to value. And now we can kind of simplify this to use this, but whatever. No, back to here, and then we set vector component. Component is velocity, and I'm using these functions because I'm working with like different axes each time. So depending on which axis I'm using, like if it's x or y, it's gonna go in and do the correct one. So because this algorithm is like exactly the same for x and y, it's just switching out, you know, x and y and width and height and stuff like that. So I have this for the same for each axis, and what we need to set this to is 0 because we're colliding, and so we should set velocity to 0. And the axis is axis Okay. So I think with that we yeah, and this is a void, and we don't return, and there we go. And now we can remove that. Okay. Okay, so we still have this issue happening, but now we shouldn't phase through because the velocity was set to 0. But we're kind of bouncing here, but also you can see this is the position of the entity right now. Okay, what I'm gonna do first. Argentina win. It's Spain versus Argentina's finals. Oh. Wait, is Argentina... do they speak... Like, I actually don't know. Do they speak Spanish or Portuguese? Or maybe something else. I don't know. Where do we go? What are we doing here? Oh yeah, so what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of like, I want to add like drag. So I'm gonna add this function, apply drag. I'm gonna add a self here just for convenience, maybe, or maybe not, actually, since we are the only ones doing this in this function or in this structure. Okay. So we're taking a vector and we're applying drag. Drag is gonna be, what is drag actually? I think it's a factor or of some kind. I'm not sure. And essentially, and you need to be a pointer. Essentially, v is equal to v scale drag factor, I think. And then also we need, I think we need time steps as well. All right, let's try that. I'm just gonna add it to everything for now. So after we've done all the update stuff, we're gonna apply drag. The thing is gonna be position. No, velocity. That would be weird. Apply drag to position. That will basically make it so that everything is gonna be dragged into the center of the world, like a black hole. Drag factor, I'm just gonna do like 0.99 maybe. Time step is time step. Okay, we're kind of all like stopping almost. It's like moving through some kind of liquid here, or very dense liquid. So let's lower this a little bit. Okay, we have the same. Okay, let's do like 0.1. the hell? Is there like 0.05? 005? No. Actually, this is weird. I think this is supposed to be like subtract. I think this is what you're supposed to do here. You take, yeah, I think I remembered it wrong. I think you're supposed to take like v minus and then some small thing each rank. It's kind of, yeah. Now I think, because I was like, what the hell? How much do I need to take off here? Okay, now we're too much or too small. Spanish, okay. Okay, you can see it's kind of working, but it's a little bit too small, so I guess we'll add another line here. Man, how much does it need to be? It doesn't feel like it's affecting it at all, actually. I mean, we can see kind of like a decrease in speed. I guess it's because of the time step it becomes... No, you know what? Okay, I just realized something. This can be larger than 1, actually. So I'm gonna set you to maybe 3. I just realized. I was thinking like, yeah, there we go. Now it's way better. Although we're very quick as well, but what if we set you to 10? So now we're stopping a lot more. The gravity though is kind of like we're reaching maximum velocity because of air drag. We're still bouncing here. So if I hold down, which means I'm trying to go through, right? It actually stops. But if I release, and now it's only gravity affecting, it does this weird bounce thing. It feels like the result collision, it has to be this, that's the issue. It shouldn't go in there. It's very strange. It should like detect the collision, go up, stop this nonsense, right? Like, do we have like a threshold here or something? Pretty sure we don't. No, it's just supposed to remove whatever collision depth we have. Now, what we could do is we could take this function here, cell candidates. We can actually, so it's kind of like a struct that you can initialize. You provided a grid, which we have and the hitbox, and then you're gonna be able to kind of, what I want is to visualize what candidates this hitbox is looking at. I don't know if I'm gonna get a lot of information out of this, but I guess we can at least visually see what's happening a little bit more, maybe. So draw a cell candidate, and let's just assume it's the player that we are dealing with. Oh. Right, let's add a get player function, maybe. And this gives us entity context. And I'm gonna add a player component. Maybe I should like have a player component readily available. Also, do you know of a way to kind of do something like this, where you have like one file exporting a bunch of others? Like you used to be able to do like using namespace to get a lot of things for free, but now we can't. I don't know. I mean, this isn't that bad, because now I can just import this file and have access to all of the things, which is really nice. Get player. So this essentially we just do get one by tag, which is a convenience thing there, and we just do player. Also, I need to go in here and add player tag to there. There we go. Now we can get the player, and we can say cell candidates. Actually, we need the grid as well. It's gonna be grid. Well, it's actually gonna be like physics grid candidates init grid hitbox is player hitbox, so hitbox okay, and there's our cell candidates, and now we can go through them. Min X. No wait, it's min X to max X. There we go. Min Y to max Y. Now we can go over to, where is it? Here. And we can grab cell position. Actually, you know what? We can just turn this into a rectangle and draw it. So position will be min X, min Y, and then size is going to be max X minus min X, max Y minus Y. And then we draw this rectangle, and we do alpha 0.3, maybe red. All right. However, these need to be kind of scaled. Also, they are U size, so they need to be converted as well. Actually, you know what? Don't I have like a 2 rectangle? No, I don't. That was in the other project. Okay, we should definitely have a 2 rectangle function, which I also need to add to the other project, to the template. So this gives us a rectangle, and I'm just gonna return init here. So fminx so then fminx times cell size. We need a grid actually. Okay. Well, we need this. I mean, we need the cell size. Just gonna be a vector cell size x. So here's like max x minus min x times cell size x. All right. And then we have the rectangle. So now we can actually say cell candidate to rectangle, and the cell size is going to be grid cell size. There we go. That's going to be the world coordinates there. Okay, but we're not calling this function, so we, I'm just going to add it over here. Draw cell candidates. Right. So now we're going to get an error. Oh. What's this? Oh, it's the other way around. Alright. So now we should see a red kind of outline of which candidates we're currently checking against. And we can kind of see that it doesn't actually go down. Okay. Well, that eliminates kind of that thing. Yeah. Man, okay. I'm just gonna ignore this issue for now. I don't want to spend too much time on these small things. Let's just continue trying to make this game here. It's gonna be a very simple game, really. I'm gonna remove this, and we are going to actually go to physics. I want to change the drag here. It's not going to be 10. Let's do like maybe 5. We'll test different values here. See? It's kind of weird. It's like strong and then not strong at the same time. Or maybe it's the gravity that's like needs to be. Maybe gravity needs to be stronger. Okay. And let's also do. I mean, what if we increase this now to 10? Okay, it's like we have a maximum kind of thing. I don't think we need 10 here though. Let's do like 6. Okay, so let's go to controllable. We have controllable speed. Maybe we need to reduce this a little bit because that seemed too much. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's a little bit floaty. So that tells me that we actually want to increase the drag a little bit, or we do friction if we're on the ground. But let's try this. Let's do 8 here. Okay, I mean, I guess that's fine. We can have a little bit of, it's a little Mario-y to have like a little bit of glidiness happening, maybe. Actually, I'm not sure. Okay, I can't actually move up, that's interesting, anymore. Well, we're not gonna be able to move up anyway, so I'm actually gonna remove this, and we're not gonna be able to move down either. So what we're gonna do though is we are gonna check if we are jumping. So I'm gonna add a jump action. I'm gonna bind that right face down, I guess. I'm just using the keyboard now, so let's do space. And if input is down, jump, then we're doing like an impulse. So essentially it's just going to be y is yeah, y is negative equal, and then it's going to be like jump, whoops, jump strength. Okay. Okay. Right. So essentially, I'm gonna do is press instead. However, we also want to check if we're actually on the ground or not. And you can see, if I spam this, I can kind of fly, but I won't actually. Oh, this actually needs to be way higher. Like on my way down, I can actually, well. This is so weird. That's such a weird motion. It's like we're going a lot fast, like super fast up, but now we're reached our drag, like maximum velocity essentially. You know what? It's kind of an idea. You're moving so fast when you're moving up. You have such a strong jump that you're kind of, you have like a, it's like the friction becomes so large that it like creates like a fire or like a shock wave or something. And then on the way down, you're just floating down because you reach the maximum velocity. Okay, so we can jump. Sure, it's not the best physics, but hey, we're doing it. And we can also jump in the air, which is kind of weird. So what we could do is we could go to grid, and we could say on the resolve collision, we could say that we have like an event which would be resolve collision event to find out if we actually did collide in one of the directions. So collision event, I'm gonna do like none or collided. You can also look, instead of none, you could do like an optional, but whatever. Let's do it like this. And here we actually do a return because we did find collided here. Now I don't remember how I made this in the other game where this mattered more, but whatever. And then if we go all the way over here, we should return none, because then nothing happened. Or we didn't find any colliding things. Also you over there. So now we can determine if we did collide or not. And also so actually we have the axis here as well. So the thing is, like, this could either be like 2 axis or y axis or 1 axis. We need to know which axis it is, because it's you know, it's important, because gravity is going down and it's not going sideways. So we have to be dealing with the y axis. I'm just gonna do a very stupid easy thing here. Collided x, collided y. And then it's like I guess if we're updating both at the same time, we should be colliding with both. But we are not doing that. We're doing one at a time in this game. So I'm just gonna say if I'm pretty sure actually physics enable separate axis update equals true. So they are separate, which means we only have like one each time here. So we have to check like switch on axis. If it's X, then, well, we return here. Then return collided X. Otherwise, if it's Y, collided Y. Oh, right. I'm just going to look at the first axis then. Incompatible types. Oh yeah. So now we get an event here. And let's see. So what would happen if we stand on the ground? We probably just want to update. We could just do this simple thing. We could go to the body, and we just can add a thing here, is on ground. And we're just gonna update that if we get the thing. We need, oh, let's just give it the body here. So well, we're not even down here, so I don't actually care about this code here. All right, we need this function, so let's put that over here somewhere. We need the body, and we need collision event. So this will be like default grid, resolve collision event. Actually, it's our grid. No, it is default grid. I thought it was dependent on the type, but whatever. Resolve collision event, yes. So if we collided on Y, then we are, oh wait, it also did it also makes, well, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna say true here. The bug here is that you can also activate this while you collide in the ceiling. So if you make like a, I guess, frame perfect jump when you collide with the ceiling, you're also going to be able to jump again. I guess otherwise, really, collided X or none, we're going to set this to false. Alright, now I think also we're doing like X first. So yeah, that should work. Okay. Yeah. Now we can go back to controllable and we can say if this is true and body is on ground is true, then we can jump. Okay, it's not like 100% reliable. Also now the body is kind of acting weird. Yeah, it's like some of the time. But we do want, okay, the press jump is also bad because you do want to have like a jump, like a buffer jump. So essentially like you hold down jump, even if you haven't landed yet, you should actually still be able to jump. So what you could do is you could do down. However, this will make it so that you can like hold down jump and do like a you know, jump. As soon as you land again, you have to jump. So in order to prevent that, I think maybe we'll do like, we could have, I mean, if let's say we have this, we have like a jump counter. Hang on. We jump. We land. Yeah, how do we know? So we can have this jump counter. Every time we jump, we increase the counter. But how do we know to match it with? No, every time we press the... Wait. So if we press the jump key, we jump, counter's gonna increase. We land. If the counter is the same as before, we don't jump again. So you have to release and press to increase the counter. So do we have to keep track of the last counter? Okay, let's just do this. I can't fully picture this in my head yet, so I'm just gonna add this, and then here, like, and if controllable jump counter equals, or I guess not equal, but now we can't jump because these are the same, so I'm gonna just put 1 there. and essentially like if jump is pressed, come on, then we increase the jump counter. Whenever we jump, we set the last counter to be the jump counter. Right? Will this work? Yeah, it seems to work, actually. I can jump buffer, so I can hold down space, you know, while up in the air, and we'll jump. But if I hold down all the time, then, you know, I'm not jumping. So I have to, like, release and press again. Okay, cool. So we got, like, whatever that's called, input, we got jump buffer. That was actually a relatively simple implementation. Yeah. Maybe I'll make very crude starter kits for different types of games. No, I don't know. Anyway. So, hello Armchair General. Bro does not stop the grind set. Yeah, I mean I have to be on the grind, you know. I didn't stream yesterday or the day before that, so I took a little bit off, you could say there. Oh man, we don't have a lot of time left. Actually, I think we're kind of up on time. Actually, it's been like an hour now. I mean, it's been an hour and we got this far. I had some trouble with the gravity and the drag. Also, the jump is not really perfect right now. But I do want to add like collectibles. So let's do that real quick, because that's gonna be pretty simple. So I'm just gonna add. It's not gonna be graphics or anything. I'm just gonna add like components. I'm gonna add a coin. And for fun, I'm just gonna do like value and color. No, that's not correct. There we go. Value is a usize. No. And then we'll have presets. So we'll have like yellow coin. It's gonna be coin. And I'll just make it in the function actually. Value and color. Okay, now I'm going to say init. So value is 1. Let's do red coin. Red coins are 2. Blue coins. Whoops. And blue coins. It's kind of like a light blue, I guess, or sky blue, maybe. I don't know. Those are 5. Alright, there we go. Now we got our little coins there. I'm gonna add a coin system. Update. No, why is this one there? Alright, we're gonna get an iterator, we're gonna get coins with bodies. course, I need to add coins here. And while we get the thing, we are going to grab the body, and we're going to say, actually we're going to grab the hitbox. And we're also going to grab the player. No. Player hitbox. And we're going to check if the hitbox, check collision with player hitbox. Then we will destroy this thing. We will grab the coin component. We will say player should have like coins starting at 0. So we can grab the player component. It's going to be player get player, and player component coins plus equals coin. Now we can also do a very simple pickup sound. Is that close enough? I'm not sure how well you can hear this. No. Okay, that's good enough. Box jump, coin. All right, so now we have that. Box jump, coin, and of course, it's the wrong thing. But yeah, wait. Where's the... Oh yeah, we have assets, right? This is the new thing that I added here. Kind of like well, a thing where you can load like assets using like a container, and you can load or unload, and haven't really used it yet, but I've constructed it. So now we're gonna do... So sound key, so this is like all the different sounds that we have in the game, and you know, music and textures. So the idea is you would use this key to kind of say, hey, I want to load this sound, or I want to unload this sound, or I want to play this sound. And then later we'll do, maybe I'll do like something like a scene loader, or like, you know, everything that is in a scene is going to get loaded, or, you know, you can have all sorts of weird stuff happening. But I really haven't come across anything I need to do that with yet with these simple kind of games. So I don't really need, I'm basically just loading everything at once. That's how it has been so far. But anyway, the sound key that I want to add is coin, pick up coin, let's say. Okay, And now we want to go down here and we need to map you to coin, I think, yeah, exactly. So now we should have that thing ready to go. We'll go to setup and init assets. Then here I say load all. So it's just gonna load all the assets that we have defined. So it's just gonna load that now. Okay. And now I'm gonna able to play it as well. So when we pick up the coin, we also want to play the sound. So plays, hang on. Oh, I didn't add those functions. Oh, there's no play. Okay, I forgot to add these functions there, so I need to add those as well. But play sound, and this is gonna get a sound key, and the sound key is basically asset sound key, and yeah, and then here is like we're gonna get the sound is gonna be, or sounds is get singleton asset sounds, and then I'm going to load. So this might actually dynamically kind of load the thing as well, which is kind of interesting. The key is sound key. Actually, I'll just rename you the key, make it more generic. This can't fail, but it can be an optional. So I guess if we, so then something went wrong essentially. If it's an optional, we can't find it, we can't actually play it. However, otherwise we actually do get it. So now we should get a pointer to the sound, and then we can say raylib play sound dot. Now the load thing is actually like it caches it as well. So once it's been loaded once, we won't need to load it in again. And of course you can also trigger the load. I'm gonna, you know, if I have like a, not in this game, but if I had like a loader, you could like trigger the load before you actually try to play it in the level. But yeah, also I just want to double check if we are setting the volume properly here. Well, actually we need to do, I see here we don't actually initialize the audio device, so we also need to do that. Init audio device, and then also in the init function we actually need to close the audio device. Okay, just in case. And then what else are we doing? Hello, said who? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. How's it going? What was I thinking about? Oh yeah, the volume. That's right. So let's set the master volume to like 0.05. It's like sometimes it's way too loud. So I'm just gonna take safety measures here. Oh, and of course we don't have any coins, right? So I have to create the coins. So let's have a function. I'm gonna copy this, create a coin, create one coin. Let's add a position here. And you are the coin. And we're gonna actually, so the position will be like a relative position. I'm gonna convert it to absolute here. And then you're gonna be like, I don't know, 4 by 8. And the color is actually in the coin. So actually, let's actually put a coin here. And so this will be coin.color. And it's not controllable, it's not a player, but it is a coin, so we're gonna add that. Okay. And now we can call this create coin. And we're gonna do a yellow coin, and it's gonna be at 0.5, perhaps. So that's gonna be like in the actual center of the screen. Oh, and it's also affected my gravity, of course. And I can't pick it I can't pick it up for some reason. Oh yeah, because we're not actually creating the coin system. Oh yeah, I need to also add it here. Okay, and then update. We also need to, let's do it here maybe, coin. Okay, there we go. Now it should work. I'm at the park coding. At the park, oh nice. Where do you live, by the way? Are you in the park? Isn't it like evening for you or something? I mean, it might be. If you're all the way to, like, are you, like, where are you? Because for me it's like almost 12, like, you know, in the midnight. Coin value. There we go. I didn't hear anything. Maybe the audio device was not set up. But no. Wait. Could you load? Oh, this didn't work. Error load sound. Failed to open file. Oh, source resources. Oh. Well, okay, let's just move it in there, I guess. Coin into source resources. Couldn't hear anything either. But I did load it in. Okay, maybe the master volume is too low. Let's do like 0.2. Canada. Okay, okay. That explains it. What the hell? It should at least show something. No. Okay. Strange. Because we are loading it. We're calling. So this is how we set up our container. So it's like sounds is like an asset container, which takes a key, a value, and options. Where options, you define things like how do we get the file name of this key? How do we load it? How do we unload it? And the key is the sound key, so give a, you know, pick up coin, and the value is the sound, and then we have these functions to actually give us a sound. We can see in the logs that we actually do load this correctly, so this is not an issue. This is the load sound function, and we have unload as well. But for some reason when we play it, it doesn't actually work. I guess this could fail here technically. We load it, Yeah, so if all goes well, we should be down here and getting the pointer to the thing. So what's happening is we're loading. First, we're checking, see if it's already in the cache. If it is in the cache, we just return the cache. Otherwise, we need to actually load in and call, like, we need to call the load function. And so we're getting the file name and we're loading it. So this seems to work because we are actually calling the load function. But actually, actually, you know what? We are calling load all down here, but this just calls load though. So that's the same thing. Yeah, and then it's supposed to put this into the map here, which I'm just gonna assume works. And then we're getting the pointer out. And then nothing is going wrong. And then we're just playing it. Like, are we calling this? Did I forget to call it? Oh, wait, I didn't even call it. Oh my god. Okay, so now the key is like you can actually pass. This is the nice thing here because you can just play sound and you dot and you get like, okay, what sound do you want to play? So it's like available there. So that's pretty cool. Perhaps. Okay. Now let's see. There we go. Right, but now I want to make it so that it's not actually affected by the gravity. So I don't know what to call this. I'm just gonna say it has gravity, true. And then physics, we're only doing this if has gravity. And then the coin, I'm gonna grab the body. And we're gonna modify this to be false. Okay, now it should stay in the air. Okay. Can we actually reach it here? No, we can't. Okay, so well, what I could do is I could go to our setup, which I'm already at, and I'm gonna define a little platform. So the platform is going to be at, let's make a row, an anonymous struct maybe. So position is going to be like in the center, maybe like 25. So this would be like top left, I guess. Top left, actually. Yeah. Or min. This is min. And then the Y is like 32, is like at the bottom. 30. We could do 17, perhaps. 18. Okay, and then max gonna be 38, 80. And then here is like if platform, well, if X is more than equal to platform min X and Y is more than equal to platform min Y. Actually, I want fx this doesn't work. So if that's true, I'm just gonna make a nested if because of formatting purposes. And then if f of x is less than or equal to max x and max y, then cell is solved. No, actually, I'm just gonna end this here because we're gonna need to do an else here. Okay. So now we should see a platform. Hello, Suncoast Software. Hey bro, new game. I mean, yeah, it's just a test game here for basically my kind of template, project template that I'm working on to like kind of increase productivity to make new games. I have this, you know, zig project, and I'm basically adding a bunch of tools and stuff to it so that or well, more like utilities and stuff to be able to like increase productivity a little bit. All right, let's put you down there a little bit. Okay, and yeah, here we go. You can collect the coin. Okay, let's add a couple more coins. I'm gonna add a bunch of coins at the thing, up in the thing. I'm gonna make a cursor, the vector at 0.7, 0.5 maybe. And then each one we're gonna increase x by like 0.05. I'm not sure exactly. Alright, we should get a bunch of coins here now. Okay, there we go. We have a bunch of coins. Okay, so there you go. I mean, yeah, and then with some tweaks, you know, and stuff, more implementation and bug fixes, you know, you have a game. But that was it I could do in this tiny amount of time here. And some of this stuff I'll also move into the template project, and I'm gonna figure out what else I can put in there. So we're probably gonna work on like improving it a little bit. I think, yeah, the physics stuff needs a lot of improvement, especially. But yeah, anyway, that's gonna be it for this time. So yeah, thank you very much for joining. I mean, I can send you off here the Twitchens here. Yeah, thanks. Do you have an idea, Penguin, or is everyone maybe moving away? Maybe, I'm not sure. Like it's pretty late. I don't know. Is there anything like I never find anyone working on Zig. No. I need to find someone who actually speaks English as well. Here we go, like Unreal Engine. Italian, English. All right, let's go. Why not? All right, have a good one. See you later.
Wait. she taller? Are they different heights?
All right.
Original looks a little taller.
See ya, Sedu.